I grew up in Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania. I grew up in Pittsburgh. So I'm a Steelers fan, I'm a Penguins fan, I'm a Pirates fan for sure. Most recently though, my family moved here to Nebraska from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I was attending the Army War College there at Carlisle for the past year. So back in 2008, I came to the Omaha District and worked here for a couple of years. So I was actually working out at Fort Carson, Colorado, doing military construction. Really neat time to be out there in Colorado between MILCON transformation, Grow the Army initiatives. The district was doing a little over $2 billion worth of construction back then. So it's neat to come back to Omaha at this point. Right, so my wife Tia had worked here in the district for 10, 12 years, something like that. She had worked in real estate and also had worked as a project manager. And so, we met back in, I guess it was 2009. Actually got married here in Omaha in 2011. So for us to come back to Omaha, it's very rewarding both professionally and on a personal standpoint. I don't know the answer to that, but I'll tell you, I think she's got a little bit of an engineer mind to her. She loves to, Legos and blocks, and she loves to stack them up as high as she can, and then she tells me about the stability of them. So I think there's definitely some engineer that's ready to come out in her. The Army does a pretty good job of that when you talk about coming into 06 Command, Colonel Command, in that the list came out about 18 months before I assumed command. About 18 months I knew I was going to take command, and so that would have been back in like December of 2018. And then in the spring of 2019, I found out that I was specifically slated for the Omaha District. So had a little bit over a year to, one, to know that we were coming here, but then really to prepare for coming here as far as just the move coming to Omaha, Nebraska, but then of course to assume the position and the role as district commander as well. Some things have certainly changed, but I don't know that a lot has changed just in, what I would characterize as a short 10 years from when I was here last time. Still a lot of familiar faces here in the district, and it was nice coming into that familiarity where I saw folks that I had worked with previously still here and now have the opportunity to continue to work with some of those same folks. But also, there's a lot of fresh faces as well, and it's exciting to come in and meet new people, new ideas, fresh ideas, and get to work with a new team as well. Yeah, a number of them, and that's what I say, folks that I had worked with before. Just to give an example, so Pete Sturdivant, now the Chief of Construction, so Pete and I had worked together as really project engineers out there in Colorado. A little over 10 years ago. And so as I come back as the district commander, I come back and see a very familiar face in Pete Sturdivant, now as the Chief of Construction Division. So, and there's a number of examples like that where, again, get the opportunity to work with some folks that I had worked with previously. One of the early visits I was able to do was out to Colorado, out to the Front Range, able to meet a number of the staff out there, and also meet a number of our stakeholders out there, particularly military stakeholders, both the Army and the Air Force. Had a chance to visit Fort Carson, Peterson Air Force Base, Schriever Air Force Base. Was also able to get up to Buckley, and then both of our area offices, the Denver area office and the Rocky Mountain area office. And it's just really neat to be able to get out and interact with the people, to see the projects as they they come out of the ground and start to take shape. I really enjoy that. And then just last week I was able to do a little bit more of a civil works focus. and get up into the top three, the northern three main stem dam projects. So visit Fort Peck, visit Garrison, and visit Oahe as well. And the same thing, get out, opportunity to see and meet a bunch of the staff, and then get a chance to see the projects, right? They're massive pieces of infrastructure, and they're old pieces of infrastructure. But as I get out there, I find it really inspiring to see what our predecessors have done as far as the Army Corps of Engineers in the construction of these really neat pieces of national infrastructure. And then you see our folks that continue to operate and maintain these things today. I find it very, very satisfying from an engineering standpoint. And I also find it very inspirational as you get out and get on the ground at some of these places. Yeah, you know, that's one of the neat things that during a commander transition we're typically able to do in the military, and certainly had that opportunity here with Colonel Hudson, and that's the opportunity to sit down and talk about a number of, you know, priorities and focus areas and transition tasks that are going on, because it's certainly not although the transition is very finite with the ceremony itself and the passing of the guidon, the work doesn't stop just because one commander's leaving and a new one's coming in. So Colonel Hudson and I had an opportunity to sit down and talk about a number of things, and really a treasured moment to be able to pick his brain a little bit about the district and get his thoughts on a number of things as I come into the position. I did my homework right before I came here and talked to a number of people, folks that had been in the district that are no longer here, and then, you know, folks that interact with the district in a varied number of ways. And I think the message and, you know, maybe the perception is pretty clear. It's a big district, right? Folks recognize that Omaha is a big district, both geographically large and just the vast expanse of programs and projects that we work on, extremely large. And the other thing that people talk about is the great people that we have, right? There's so much talent and expertise inside of the district that we've just got some amazing folks that work on some really, really neat projects. And I think that's recognized really throughout the nation for that expertise and those great people that we have right here in the Omaha district. I think it's important to know that, one, you know, as we continue to deal with COVID-19, right, the health and safety of the workforce continues to be and will be our #1 priority as we push forward. And the second thing is just, I really look forward to getting out and meeting and interacting with our workforce, with the employees, getting to understand and learn about the projects they're working on, and really excited to be here as part of the Omaha District team.